Well, welcome everybody to Industry Mentoring Briefing T2 2026. Coming to the end of May, getting ready for the T2 session. Our matching opens on the 1st of June, which is Monday morning. I love when the 1st of June and the 1st of February, when they come on a Monday, it makes life very easy. And so I want to prepare our new mentors. I want to refresh our more seasoned and established mentors, and give you an update on what's happening in the program and all of that. So let's kick off, because I do tend to run over time, and I don't want that to happen. So before I begin, I would like to first acknowledge the people who are the traditional custodians of all the lands in which we are meeting today. I'd like to pay our respects to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. So, some housekeeping. We are recording it. I remember to press record. You can access your microphones. Love when you keep on your cameras. We can use the chat. Forget the Q&A. Let's just use the chat for questions and answers. Links and resources will be posted in the chat. Don't get excited. I probably won't post anything, because that would be way too much multitasking. And my biggest challenge today is to make sure my mouse is on the right screen, and I have 3 screens. So any questions, you know how to contact us. You have my mobile, you have Nicole's mobile, you have email, you have the Industry Mentoring Program email. I'm up there on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? I'm sure some of you even know where I live. But yeah, any questions, you can reach out to contact us. So this is us, the mighty Team IMP, okay? For those of you who are new, and I know Corey you are, so you met Nicole and I on Tuesday night last at the Mentoring on the Move event, but we make up the amazing team. We're there to support you on your mentoring journey with your student. We're there to set up wonderful networking events, deal with any problems. I like to give out gin recommendations. Nicole is great at career development consulting and counselling, so you can go to her for that. I can tell you where to get the best pint of Guinness, and all of that as well. So between the two of us, we will have you sorted. Anyway, really quick one. The agenda today, it probably won't happen in this sequence because I've been moving the slides around, but hopefully we'll get through it all and have you out the door by 1 o'clock. Anyway, let's kick off. Mentoring and more. Welcome to our new mentors who have joined the program this year, okay? I would like to think that when you join the Industry Mentoring Program, you're joining not just a program, but very much a community. Having that sense of connection and that sense of belonging is incredibly important to both Nicole and I, not just for our students, but for our mentors, okay? This is a community where you can widen your own professional networks. You'll find yourself in the space with like-minded people who are very much invested in professional development, whether it's their own professional development or supporting others on their career journey, okay? We're a very enthusiastic and fun bunch of people to be around. You know, you get the opportunity to gain a fresh perspective on your work, whether it's talking to students and hearing about, you know, their perspective on things, or whether it's bumping into other mentors as well at different mentoring events, gaining that cross-cultural understanding, which, you know, is wonderful. And I think any opportunity for us to be in a place to get that is fantastic. Of course, there's that gaining that closer connection to Griffith, which is wonderful. So building that strong sense of connection. An idea I had this year, and I popped it here, probably not the right area, but maybe it is because we are talking to new mentors. But I was talking to a new mentor yesterday, and the conversation kind of was great, but she had kind of raised that, look, you know, having maybe a fear that, am I doing it right? Or how can I be a better mentor? So I just wanted to pop this into the pot that we could stew it around, have a cook with it, and think, hey, established mentors, what do you think of the idea of maybe having a buddy system? that you could put your hand up if you wanted to buddy up with a new mentor and have a couple of meetings with them, just have a chat like we were doing earlier there, Michael and Tony, about things. But, I thought we could explore that a little bit more. It would help build your own networks as well. But yeah, I mean, everybody mentors in different ways. And sometimes when I put you on the spot and ask you, hey, tell a story about mentoring, um, you mightn't be able to think of one there and then, but if you had that buddy system and you were having those conversations, little curly questions could come up, and then you could reach into your bag of, experience and sort of say, I had a similar experience like that and I found that worked, and so on. So, it's not for really, exploring and all of that today, but I just wanted to put it there, maybe drop me an email afterwards and say, hey, I'd love to put my hand up for that, and I could pair you up with somebody. So the other thing that's very important to us is to make sure that you let us know how we can support you as well. Remember, and I'm putting Nicole on the spot here, even though she's not here. She's a trained career development consultant, okay? So if you do have any of those career questions or whatever, and you're having career difficulties yourself, we're more than happy to have a chat with you about that. And also, it might be something that we can reach out to our wider community as well, if you would appreciate that. So I'm going to be very brief. I want to thank you. Thank you all so much. Our regular mentors, the mentors that have been here for the last 32 years. Big shout out to Frank Byrne there for that, even though I don't think he's online today. Many of our mentors have been here for decades. And to our new mentors, our more recent mentors, our mentees who are now mentors, thank you all for the time that you have given to the program, for the passion that you bring, the enthusiasm that you bring. We ask for so much, and you're always there ready to put up your hand, and you just make it matter, and you make such a difference to our students and to this program. So thank you for that. Anyway, what's happening in 2026? We're halfway through the year, okay? Let's start with Nicole, okay? So a few developments happened at the start of the year. We're still Team Imp, there's still the two of us, but we're kind of growing a little bit, okay? So first of all, Nicole has had the opportunity at the start of the year to step out from Careers and Employment Services and step up into a project lead role, where she is running a project about rolling out a mentoring ecosystem across the university. So looking at all the different sort of mentoring that is happening, and maybe trying to join it up a little bit better, and then identifying gaps and where we can put in mentoring, where we can join it all up, and looking at various mentoring models. So there's a lot of exciting things happening there as well, and no better woman than Nicole to head that up. That project was meant to take a year. And then another opportunity came along for her to step into a job share position at managing the Student Academy of Excellence, which used to be called our Honours College. So Nicole is also going to be managing the SAE 60% of the time. As a result of that, what they've done is they stretched out the mentoring ecosystem project for 2 years. So she's going to be busy. Very busy, okay? I'm still here 100% of the time, okay? But they did see me looking a bit frazzled, so now I have some additional support. I also have a student supporting me by the name of Tijuana Parker, and she helps out sort of 1 or 2 days a week, and she'll attend our events and help out with that. Some of you may have met her last week. She's great. She's a ball of energy, which is fantastic, just what we like in this program. And we are also right now currently recruiting for additional support. I think it's a 6-month contract where we'll have somebody else coming in to support us as well. So look, exciting things happening. We're growing a little bit, which is fantastic. Anyway, students are currently registering for T2 until July, and that means they can still sign up to join our T2 session. Matching opens on the 1st of June and runs until the 30th of June, okay? Or that is the story we tell students, but we don't tell them that we actually extend it into July, because if we told them that, they mightn't start looking for a mentor until July. So we do extend it, okay? So matching runs from the 1st of June through to the 30th of June, and so keep an eye out on your email, okay, for emails requests from students, okay? officially mentoring starts on the 1st of July. So say you get a request on the 10th of June and you decide to work with that student. We say the official mentoring session is July through to September. But if you want to jump in early and start, that's fine. Absolutely. We're not going to stop you. Those dates are all very flexible. If we have students that join late and they match with you in July and you still have work to do in October, we're not going to tell you to stop the mentoring session on the 30th of September. So there's a huge amount of flexibility here, okay? We're hoping to run a second Kickstart event. This time it'll be on the Gold Coast. We did our T1 up in Brisbane. But we're looking at the 22nd of July, somewhere in the Southport area for our T2 Kickstart event, which will be an evening event. And we'll be sending out more information about that. That goes out to all mentors and mentees who are matched in the program. So it's only for those who are matched in the session, okay? We're hoping to do a September mentoring on the move at the Nathan campus. Most of you I know are familiar with our format, that it's a morning event where we do breakfast and we drag you all out of bed in the morning. I don't like the morning, but it was Nicole who came up with the idea of Twilight last week, and it was a massive hit. And feedback that we're getting is, this is a sweet spot, this is a good time. So we may look at putting the mentoring on the move event at the same time at Nathan campus, but we're working on that as well at the moment. 3rd of November, we're having our Brisbane end of year event. That's on a Tuesday back at the Grove. And the 5th of November is our Gold Coast end of year event, which is happening at Hotta. Okay, so you will get an invitation to these events in September. Choose one of them. We'd love to see you. For those people who are here already, you might put an old clap in if you tell me, if you can tell our new mentors how fun they are and what a great night of celebrating we do. Anyway, new ways to engage. I'll be very quick on this one. Last year we updated our profile, asking you and inviting you to add in areas and select from a pull down menu other ways that you would like to engage with the university. If you haven't done that already, please pop in and do that. You can update it whenever you want. If you don't want to jump into your profile and you just want to tell me, by all means, drop me an email, okay? Anyway, let's get down to mentoring. Let's get down to what it's all about. So here in the industry mentoring program, we really see this as a kind of a collaboration between mentors and mentees, okay? When we talk to our mentees about the mentoring approach, quite often they start thinking about it as quite uneven, okay? They're the student, you're the wise wizard, they're going to take all the information from you. So it's very unequal. And we're there to tell them all the time that is not the case. We see both parties playing an equal role in this connection, okay? It is not just the student that is learning from the mentor, but time and time again, we see that it is the mentor that is learning from the student, okay? That idea of exchanging knowledge, exchanging perspectives, growing together, okay? And building those connections out. So that is our IMP approach. It's very much a collaboration, and it is very much a two-way street. Program timelines, okay? So I know I mentioned this already, but back again, I just want to say here, T2 session timelines are June for matching, July through to September. And then next year, when we jump back in 2027, we'll be looking at February is our matching period, and our mentoring session is March through to May, and there's our end of year events. When we look at the mentoring process as well, one thing that is very important for us to say is that this is a student-led initiative. The students are in the driving seat. It is not your job to parent them like I have to do with my 12-year-old, dragging him out of bed in the morning, spoon feeding him his breakfast, telling him to get his shoes on, telling him to brush his teeth, whatever it is. That is not your job to be reminding students, hey, we got to meet, hey, you got to meet your milestones, hey, you got to do this, hey, you got to do that. We very much put the responsibility on the students' shoulders to drive the process forward. And they have a series of milestones that they have to meet to keep them on track, okay? The only thing that we would ask you to do is to make sure you engage, that you stay responsive, you don't leave them hanging, okay? If you are busy, try and offer a solution. If you can't meet with them on a certain day, offer them a different day or whatever. If they send you a mentoring agreement for them to review, please do take some time to look at it. So the mentoring agreement is that first point in the milestone. So that is a contract between you and the student, okay? It is a roadmap. It is the contract that you have setting out the plan for the 12 weeks. The student is meant to bring that to one of the first meetings, and you're to sit down and work on it together, laying out the students' learning objectives. Why are they in the program? What are they hoping to achieve? And then you look at those learning objectives and give them a couple of pointers on how you can help them meet those learning objectives. Then there'll be an opportunity for pre-scheduling meetings. So work out, hey, I can meet you sometimes in person. I can meet you sometimes online. Thursday nights are always good for me. Tuesday mornings are always good for me. Let's pencil in a couple of meetings, pop them in the diary so that we're going forward and we have a plan. Okay. Halfway through, we ask both parties to do a midpoint assessment. Again, this is a form on the dashboard that you will see. And that midpoint assessment is great for temperature checking. How are things going? Are you meeting your learning objectives? Are you happy with how often you're meeting? Are there new learning objectives since you started the connection that you'd like to introduce, you know, or the student would like to introduce and put in the agreement? Okay. Are there any issues that maybe need ironing out? You know what I mean? Are things not going as well as they should? Do you need myself or Nicole to jump in and help out in any way? So it's the objective of this is we want our students to make the most of these 12 weeks. We don't want them to get to the end and then turn around and say, oh, I wish I'd done that, and I wish I'd done this, and I wish I'd done the other thing, because we don't have a time machine. So that midpoint assessment is an ideal opportunity to temperature check, iron out the wrinkles, get the wheels back on the track. Okay. Then there's the event attendance. As I said, the invitation goes out to that in September. Some of you might be matched with, like if you're in Brisbane, you might be matched with a Gold Coast mentee. We do try and encourage our mentees to go to the event that their mentor is going to. So you might need to have a discussion about that too. Then at the end of the year, we ask you to complete that survey. And the feedback is really vital to us, okay? We do take it on board. We apply a lot of the feedback that we hear from people, from mentors and from mentees, because one thing that's very important to us is that we constantly improve this program to ensure that it's fresh and relevant to today's generation of students, okay? All of these things can be found on the mentoring dashboard, and when I do a tour of the platform in a minute, I can point those out to you, okay? This is what we expect from students. I go through all of this with students during orientation. Okay, students have 4 steps to follow when they register. You have 1. Okay, so they have an EOI, then they attend an orientation session. It's 45 minutes of me telling them how the program works, outlining expectations when it comes to behavior, and committing that time and effort to their professional development. I go through some tips and tricks that they, that they mightn't have considered and that they should when it comes to making the most of the mentoring connection. First and foremost, of course, is professional behavior and respecting mentor times, the mentor's time and all of that. Okay, so I do that. I labor that quite intensively. Then they do their online profile, and then they do a bit of web training so they familiarize themselves with the platform too. Okay, but if you feel that, look, your mentor isn't stepping up and having that professional behavior, by all means come back, talk to me, as well as I'm very happy to have a chat with them. Okay. So tour the platform, the bit I have been dreading. So let's bear with me, okay? I am going to stop the share. And I am going to find the mentoring platform. I am going to start the share again. Okay. Now we're back here. And now I'm going to log on as John Mentor, okay? So we have 2 dummy profiles. John is the mentor and Julie is the mentee, okay? So I want to show you this today from the mentor's perspective, okay? Let's go. In we go. Okay, so this is our platform. This is what it looks like when you have a student that you are matched with, okay? It is always changing, this platform. So when you're not matched, it won't have that in front of it. But when you do, there it is. You will have your mentee's profile up in front of you, okay? And now let's have a quick look around here as well. So down the side here, we've got good few tabs: home, your profile. So if you wanted to update your profile, you can click on that and update it. Your messages are here. If you want to search mentors or mentees, you can search here. Bookmarks are here, connections, there's a calendar, and any shared documents that your mentee might have shared with you will be available here. Okay. Over along here is your to-do list, okay? Now, let me just talk very briefly about that. One of the things we added last year was another presentation that we insist that students look at once they're matched with a mentor, because when they have their orientation, it could be like 12 weeks. It could be longer before they actually match with a mentor. And all the information that I've given them in the orientation, it's gone out the window. All right. So this is kind of a little refresher. And Nicole made sure I kept 15 minutes. So it's a 15-minute presentation where we talk again about behavior and expectations and all of those things. Okay. Now, I have put it up here because if you feel like having a look at that, you're more than welcome to do so. But we don't insist that mentors do. But it's a nice little refresher if you do want to take a look at it. Okay. Now you're matched, it's what it's called, and it's a 15-minute presentation. These are some of the milestones you'll see here. So that's the midpoint assessment that we were talking about. Let me have a quick look here. So if we click on it, it's gone past, so we'll go back to the home because the deadline is past, so we can't show you that. That's the mentor briefing that's happening today, and these are the dates for the events, which are all wrong. We need to update those, okay? All right, up here, this is you, okay? So here are your account settings, all right? Let's open that up for a second. Okay, so say you've moved to a different company and you've changed your address. You can change your email address here, okay? Say you want to place yourself invisible because you've got long service leave, you're going away for 2 months, you're not going to be available. You can, you can't participate in a particular session. You can pop your dates in here, okay? Now it's a little bit fiddly, so you have to press into the, to each thing, okay? So January the 1st, and then you have to make sure you got the right year and all of that, okay? So I'm getting rid of that. And then that's when your invisibility ends. So you still receive our emails when you're invisible, but you just aren't visible in the database, so students can't connect with you. You can have maximum 2 mentees at a time, but we always start with 1, okay? So it should be at 1, but if you feel, oh, look, I'd love to have a second one, you can go in and change that to 2. Okay, all right. Try not to unclick this box. A lot of people say, oh, I'll just do that and I'll be invisible. What happens sometimes if you do that, you forget to click it back when you are visible. So we find these invisibility settings are much better. Okay, now back to the home page again. All right, so we're back here. Now, the other thing you can do is you have the milestones down here as well, okay? And your student will have the same on their screen, but they'll have you up here as their mentor. And then you click in here and it brings you to what we call the mentoring dashboard, okay? So this is the mentoring dashboard. So this is exclusively for you and your current connection, okay? All right. So your messages are there again. We ask students maybe to log their interaction. So if they meet with you, they might want to log, hey, I met with Tony and I worked through the mentoring agreement. Okay. When it comes to scheduling appointments and maybe you've had to change your appointment or whatever, this is really handy when it comes to proposing appointments with your student. Okay. So you can type in, let's say, let's discuss networking, okay? And where's the location? Coffee Major, okay? And you can select, oh, let's do it on the 20th or whatever, and you add, and you can do a whole selection of them there, okay? And then your student can see them at their end and go, okay, so I know that Corey's available on that date. Yeah, that works for me too, and we can accept that one, okay? So that is just the scheduler there. Let's come out of this, and here again is where the documents can be shared. So similar to this tab over here. So you can, you can ask your student, your mentee, to pop up their resume up there so you can review it. Here is where you can tick off the milestones as well and say, okay, that's been done. We've developed a rapport. We've defined the purpose. We've signed off that mentoring agreement. See, there's a copy for the mentoring agreement. We've signed off the midpoint assessment. Tick, I am top of the class. Okay. Any goals that you want to add, you can put here, and there's a lovely sense of achievement when they're ticked off as well. Okay. So that mentoring dashboard is exclusively for you and your mentee. Okay. Now I'm going to go back over here to program links and tour. This here as well, there's a resources section. We have quite a few resources to support you in your mentoring connection. Okay, so building the mentoring relationship for mentors, a mentor role description, top tips for a great mentor profile. There's mentoring agreement suggested talking points. So maybe you're like, oh, look, I'm new to this. And they'll have the mentoring agreement. I don't really know how to kick off the conversation. Or this could be for the student as well. They can have a look at that document. And, you know, when they come to the meeting, then they have got a few pointers of how to kick things off. There's a copy of the mentoring agreement, both in Word and a PDF. There's a goal setting guide, suggested mentoring activities. There's our student sexual assault, harassment and bullying policy, which we do ask you to review. And the same goes for the health and safety and well-being policy, because it's really important to us that our mentors and mentees, both parties, feel very safe in this connection. Okay, so that is our mentoring platform tour for now. Okay, for now. All right. So as I was saying, that the two documents there on the resources section, the student sexual assault, harassment, bullying and discrimination policy, and the health, safety and well-being policy. Okay. So part of our registration process is asking you to read and agree to those, to our code of conduct and all of that. So I would ask you to take some time, familiarize yourself with that, make sure that you are aware of it, and because we want both of you to feel comfortable in this connection. Okay. Be mindful that there are cultural and generational issues. Okay. So our mentees, a lot of them are really nervous about having that first meeting with a mentor. So it would be nice always to just be mindful of like where it is you're going to suggest to have that meeting, that it's somewhere that is public, that is appropriate, that's in the middle of the day, all of that, or in the right after work. Okay, so I wouldn't be suggesting, hey, let's go to a nightclub and do shots. All right, that type of stuff. Okay, so be mindful of that perceived power imbalance as well. Okay. Meeting locations, so communication, meeting locations and topics that reflect Australian professional norms and the student's comfort level. Okay, if you run into any issue, okay, there is an escalation process, and most importantly, we want to be informed of it. Okay, if there are any concerns with your mentee at all, please do reach out to us. The one thing we hate is hearing these things third and fourth hand. Okay, so if you have any concerns about your mentee safety, anything at all, if they've brought up something that's of concern and you feel like that they could do with additional support from the support services within Griffith, then please do let us know and we can point them in the right direction. Okay. One other thing that's really important for you to consider when you're in the program and you're working with your mentee, okay, you're not just having an impact on that mentee. Okay. The wonderful thing about this is those mentees, they'll talk to their classmates, they'll talk to their friends. The things they learn from you, they take out into the world and they pass it on. Okay. So you have such an impact and you have such a reach when it comes to the support that you are giving our students. Okay. And the advice and the guidance that you give lasts into the future, well into the future, for our students who often will talk about the advice that they got from their mentor and what it meant for them and how they wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't for their mentor's guidance and their mentor's mentorship and all of this. And quite often it's the reason that those students come back themselves as mentors later. Okay. Grow model for mentoring conversation. This is definitely Nicole's area. Okay. All right. When it comes to goal setting, all of that, there are plenty of goal setting models out there. Okay. I'm not going to list them because I'd probably have to Google them. Okay. But she would be really, really aware of them. But one that I know that she uses quite a lot is that grow model for mentoring conversations. Okay. People are definitely 42% more likely to achieve their goals if they write them down. I don't know if anyone's following me on LinkedIn, but I'm running 5K every day in May for motor neuron disease. I think there would definitely have been a few mornings that I wouldn't have got out of bed if I hadn't told the world that I was doing this. Okay. I've got 4 runs to go. I think is it Friday? Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. So yeah, but you are definitely more likely to achieve those goals if you write them down, or 70% more likely if you share them with somebody else. Okay. So we have plenty of goal setting and other resources available on the resources page. But also, please hit us up, myself and Nicole, and of course, our colleagues in the wider Careers and Employment Services group. Across the university, we have just so much knowledge and so much information that we're always more than happy to share with our mentoring community. Anyway, we've got to the end of me blah 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 talking. Okay, I had a real treat for everybody today. My colleague Nina was going to come on and she was going to talk about the 3 pillars of storytelling, and it sounded really interesting. And I thought, oh, this will be something that our mentors can take away with them afterwards. And anyway, Nina rang me this morning to say, with all the rain, she had a massive leak in her house and there was so much flooding. She had no internet. She couldn't come on today. So I have to go back to our old model of this impact exchange, which we love, impact, where I'm going to stop chatting. I'm going to ask our mentors, new mentors, old mentors, all of that, to maybe jump in, share some experiences that they've had in the program, a little bit like what we were doing before we actually went live today, and see if we can share ideas and get the creative juices flowing. So I've put a few pointers here. Maybe anyone got a story on how to kickstart their mentoring connection, managing expectations. Are there any sticky problems that you had that you had to solve and you want to share that? Any challenging scenarios? Making the most of your mentoring connection. Is there something that you do that maybe you think maybe other mentors don't do that you'd like to tell us about? And all of that. So, all right, we're back here very quickly. Tips and tricks again for mentors: set your contact schedule, be open about expectations, set ground rules. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. Okay. All right. The other thing I would like to say is you might want to rush to give the answer. Okay. But if you can, we really feel that quite often those students have the answers inside of them. And so if you can listen and then help to kind of get them to extract the information out of themselves and reach that, the conclusion themselves as well. Okay. Opening doors, opening your networks. We are so grateful when you do that. I know how generous you are. It means an awful lot to our students, who quite often, a lot of them are struggling to make those professional connections. So wherever possible, if you can bring them to networking events, introduce them to other people in your network, I know they would be incredibly grateful. And empowering your mentee to think through challenges, as I said, not rushing to give them the solution, but helping them to get to the solution themselves. Okay. They're just some tips and tricks. Okay. I would love for you to spread the word. We're doing so much more in the mentoring space, in particular in that mentoring curriculum. So we're always on the lookout for new mentors, fresh expertise, all of that. So wherever possible, do invite colleagues, promote IMP on LinkedIn, nominate your mentees for an award, all of those things, hosting industry excursions, attending networking events, anything. And I always love feedback and ideas. I can never get enough of that. So please stay in touch. Okay. Here is where you can access support. There's Nicole and there is me. And yeah. Oh, and one other thing that I hadn't added and I wanted to put in the chat, and if you bear with me, let's see if I can find this now. Let's see if I can do that. This is very important. Get me back to the chat. So there we go. Okay, I'm not putting it in the slide set. I'm going on my holidays to Ireland very shortly. Okay, I will be gone for almost a month. Okay, that's a picture of the view from our family farm in West Cork. Okay, and that's a picture of me doing one of my favorite things, drinking Guinness. Anyway, I will not be here for a lot of the matching. Okay. And what I do often is when you get matched, I'll go in and I'll look at the queue and I'll say, oh, that person has responded, that person has responded. And if you hadn't responded after 3 days, then I might drop you a text, then I might send you an email, then eventually I might give you a call. And it's kind of my least favorite part of my role because I know you're busy and I hate bothering you. But Nicole should be back from surgery at that point, which is great. But if she's not, uh, we'll be working on a skeleton staff, all right? And a lot of those students might be wondering why they haven't got a response, all right? So I would just ask you to be particularly mindful this year to just keep an eye out on those requests coming in and keep the thing flowing. That would be very, very much appreciated. I'm giving a similar message to the students, but without the images of Guinness and on me drowning in Guinness there. But yeah, telling them to get their requests in nice and early. But I would be really appreciative if you could keep an eye on that. Anyway, it is 1:05. I don't think we did. Nenad, we might meet up. Who knows, in Dublin at the Guinness Storehouse. All right, let's make a date of it. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your patience as I moved around those 3 screens. I am so looking forward to working with you all in the T2 session. Most of all, I'm looking forward to maybe meeting as many of you as possible over the coming months at some of our different events. Okay, so any questions, if I've missed anything that you'd like to hear about, please do feel free to drop me an email. Okay? Perfect. All right, everybody. Have a lovely afternoon. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Brina.
Cheers.